Please subscribe.
The longevity of some cars tends to sneak up on you. Case in point, this 2019 Lexus S. Can you believe you're looking at the 7th generation model? The S, along with the marque's flagship LS sedan, are the two longest-running nameplates in the brand's history, having been on sale since Lexus' inception in 1989. In more human terms, that means that the S family is firmly Generation Y, it's a millennial. That may come as a surprise, because throughout its life, the S has been seen as a conservative, staidly-styled offering. Historically, it's been a model whose appeal was that it was easy to recommend to buyers of a certain age who prioritized qualities like a cushy ride, quiet cabin and drama-free ownership over all other attributes. Riding atop its new marque chassis, the 2019 model looks set to maintain those hard-won S family touchstones. After spending a day driving it in Tennessee, I can confirm that it is indeed unerringly serene, and it enjoys excellent ride quality and sound isolation. Further, there's no reason to assume that the new S will deliver anything other than sterling reliability. But that's where the new model's AARP-friendly likenesses end. Unlike past iterations, the 2019 S achieves its calm demeanor without resorting to the sort of overly soft suspension that ultimately yields messy handling when pressed. And it does everything wearing a bold new look. Like that famed and much maligned generation of people born between the 80s and the early 90s, the new S has matured greatly. In fact, the S and millennials share some commonly associated characteristics. The Lexus is confident, achievement-oriented and possesses a surprisingly strong family drive. As for ascribing another commonly held belief about millennials to the S, tech savviness, I've got my reservations. Stylistically, the S started to let its hair down a little in the outgoing generation, but not nearly as completely and dramatically as the car seen here. The 2019 S is 2.6 inches longer, 0.2 inches lower and 1.8 inches wider than its forebearer, and it sits on a 2-inch longer wheelbase while straddling markedly wider front and rear tracks. The takeaway? The new S features more athletic and substantial proportions, along with improved cabin room. As before, the S range comprises both gas, S350, and hybrid, S300-hours, front-wheel drive midsize sedans. New for 2019 is a third option, the hawkish-looking S350F Sport. Non-F Sport S models, like the burgundy S350 shown in these photos, will be easy to spot on the street thanks to its unique interpretation of Lexus' trademark spindle grille. In this application, the oversized assembly has a certain sense to the hourglass quality about it. To my eyes, as seen here, Lexus' controversial styling element is less successful than in the larger LS sedan, and certainly, the company's deeply stylish LC coupe. That said, the grille integrates far better into the car's overall design than the more timid version used on the outgoing model, which always looked like the tacked-on near-refresh artifact that it was. Akio Toyoda, head of Lexus parent, Toyota Motor Co., made it clear a few years ago that boring designs would no longer be tolerated, and the Lexus team has taken that message to heart, almost to a fault. Between its larger grille, those slashing, lowering headlamps and more deliberately styled body sides, the 2019 Lexus S certainly looks more confident and upscale. However, I can also see how its more aggressive visage may alienate some of the car's more conservative core buyers. The 2019 S doesn't just wear a more dynamic and self-assured new jacket, it's got more muscle lurking underneath, too. Thanks in part to increased use of high-strength steels, the S' new platform is stiffer. And while the S shares much of its body in white with the more prosaic 2019 Toyota Avalon, there are a number of key differences, including increased use of laser screw welding and structural adhesives to further improve rigidity. Notably, the S receives a V-brace mounted behind the rear seats that improves torsional bending resistance at the expense of being able to fold the rear setbacks for added utility. As before, the heart of the S350 is a naturally aspirated 3.5-liter V6. Thanks to updates that include a revised fuel injection system, output is up meaningfully to 302 horsepower and 267 pound-feet of torque, increases of 34 and 19, respectively. Just as importantly, Lexus has been the outgoing S6-speed automatic in favor of a new 8-speed gearbox with a wider ratio spread for both better acceleration and improved efficiency. Throughout my days driving the rolling countryside outside of Nashville, the direct shift transmission comported itself well, with the exception of being occasionally slow to downshift, regardless of drive mode, during more enthusiastic driving. Combined, the S300's burlier engine and smarter transmission yields an estimated 0 to 60 miles per hour time of 6.6 seconds. That's unremarkable, but it's plenty quick for this type of car, and it's a half-second improvement over its predecessor. Estimated fuel economy numbers are somewhat oddly spread out, just 22 miles per gallon in the city, but a much better 33 miles per gallon on the highway, or 26 miles per gallon overall. The S300 Hours, which features Lexus' 4th-generation hybrid technology, pairs a 2.5-liter Atkinson cycle 4-cylinder with a more powerful electric motor and a new nickel-metal hydride battery pack. Importantly, the latter's more compact dimensions mean that it now fits under the rear seat, saving trunk space. Total system output is quoted at a modest 215 horsepower, plus 15, and a torque figure is not available. Preliminary efficiency estimates call for 43 miles per gallon city, 45 highway and 44 combined. Those are hugely impressive numbers. Toyota says they're enough to make the S300 Hours the most efficient luxury vehicle offered in the US without a plug. Built exclusively in Kyushu, Japan, most other North American S models will be built in Georgetown, Kentucky. The hybrid's 0 to 60 miles per hour is listed as a casual-sounding 8.1 seconds, the same as last year. None of those metrics really tell you how the new S feels while generating those numbers, however, but the answer is pretty darn good. Lexus makes a big deal about how much sportier this new XB70 generation is to drive than before, and indeed, it breeds driver confidence like no S before it. That's particularly true of the F-Sport, which not only adds visual drama with a blacked-out mesh grille, unique lower fascias, model-specific wheels, rear spoiler and dark-finish taillights, it also nudges the dynamic quotient upward. Chiefly, that's because the S350 F-Sport is available with adaptive variable suspension derived from the system on the LC Coupe. Lexus says the system features no fewer than 650 individual levels of damping, which helps keep the car level, whether it's being pitched hard into a corner or negotiating a suburban speed bump. However, the standard S with its novel new swing valve passive shocks works well, too. As on all 2019 S models, the electric power steering module has migrated from the column to a new rack mount for improved responsiveness, and turn-in is noticeably keener, and it's less numb than the standard S, even if road feel remains somewhat muted. Speaking of somewhat muted, F-Sport models feature additional drive modes, including a Sport Plus mode designed to augment engine noise for a more athletic feel. As Yasuhiro Sakakibara, the S chief engineer, noted, that allowance was needed to keep the cabin from being unnaturally quiet. In my estimation, Lexus has only partially succeeded, however. While the free-breathing V6 actually sounds pretty good climbing to its 6,600 revolutions per minute redline, its tune remains too muffled and distant for my liking. It's as if the engine is swaddled in thick cashmere blankets. Fuel economy for the S350 F-Sport takes a slight hit versus the standard S300, and is listed at 22 miles per gallon city, 31 highway and 25 combined. Overall, though, the F-Sport is clearly differentiated from its S siblings, delivering a significantly more engaging driving experience. I'm happier about the swaddling that happens in the new interior, which feels impressively upscale. Boasting comfortable seats, good quality switchgear and materials, it's a pleasant place to be no matter which model you're in, and despite the design's more dramatically sloping roofline, there's plenty of headroom back there for 6-footers. On the cabin side of the equation, like any millennial worth their salt, the S travels everywhere with a full array of tech goodies, including an optional huge and crisp head-up display that works better than most when wearing polarized sunglasses. A 10-speaker, 296-watt Pioneer audio system comes standard, but an 1,800-watt, 12-channel Mark Levinson system is optional. There's even Amazon Alexa integration and available wireless charging. On models equipped with navigation, the interior is dominated by a 12.3-inch billboard-style infotainment screen, vehicles that go without embedded nav get an 8-inch display. All S models feature a standard Verizon Wi-Fi hotspot, and while Android Auto users remain out of luck, Lexus is promising Apple CarPlay on models built after October 1st. I'd suggest waiting for one of those models, if only because Apple CarPlay's simplified menu structure is significantly more intuitive to operate than the native infotainment system. Remember when I said I had reservations about the S tech savviness? That's because Lexus Remote Touch Interface, RTI, continues to be very frustrating to use. While improvements have been made, this trackpad-based system remains maddening. It's my least favorite infotainment interface in the luxury car business. I don't really even think it's much of an improvement over the outgoing S humpback mouse style controller. As RTI use is at the heart of most of the car's functions, I recommend making a point of getting very familiar with how the system works while driving before signing on the dotted line. Even if the 2019 S stumbles with infotainment technology, this millennial looks poised to excel when it comes to family-minded advanced safety gear. All S models come equipped with Lexus Safety System 2.0, which includes a pre-collision auto brake system with pedestrian and daytime bicyclist detection. All-speed radar-based cruise control is also part of the package, as is lane keep assist, road sign recognition and auto high beams. A blind spot monitor and 360-degree camera are also available. Overall, the 2019 Lexus S is a significantly better car than before, with higher fidelity handling, strong complement of safety features and a nicer cabin. I wouldn't go so far as to call the new S truly sporty, but it is more confidence-inspiring. Lexus officials remain upbeat that the new S will find homes despite consumers' ebbing love affair with traditional sedans, a reality that has been playing out in Toyota's home market of Japan for many years already. The company is counting on edgier styling and improved performance to give the model broader appeal among all generations of buyers, be they X, Y or Boomer. With over 1 million S models sold in the US alone so far, I wouldn't bet against them. The 2019 Lexus S rolls into dealers this September, with pricing starting at $39,500, just $550 more than the outgoing model, before delivery fees. With the base price of $41,310, the 2019 S300 Hours is actually $510 less than its predecessor. Finally, the S350F Sport, with its sportier performance and longer list of features, will ring up at $44,035. All in, that feels like a very fair shake for such a polished performer.